we go. 7 questions. The goal every week is to go 7 for 7. You be your judge. I'll be my judge. I want to go 7 for 7. Last week, man, I did really bad last week. Last week I got like 4 out of 3. wait. I got like 4 out of 7. I barely passed. If passing was more than half. Here we go. Yep. So your national days of the week we do in advance, the week in advance. When we do this week in history, we do the week before. So here are your questions. Let's all try to go 7 for 7. I'm looking for your comments, and I understand there is a delay. Question number 1. On wrong week. There we go. Question number 1. On May 14th, 1804, which famous expedition set out from St. Louis to explore the American West? Now, when it comes to famous expeditions, I can only think of 2. I haven't looked at the multiple choice answers yet. If you have a famous expedition that you can think that started in St. Louis to explore the American West, if you can think of one that isn't what I'm thinking of right now, then by all means pop your answers into the comments there. I'm going to tell you there's 2 famous expeditions, if you will, that I can think of. The Mason-Dixon expedition. Roger pops in with the Donner Party. James pops in with Lewis and Clark. But Robert wins the internet today by saying the Donner Party. That, very funny, young man. Very funny. So Roger and James both go with Lewis and Clark. It isn't Mason and Dixon. It is Lewis and Clark. That is also my answer. Let's see what our multiple choice answers are for those people playing along. Was it the Lewis and Clark expedition? The Pony Express Riders, the Oregon Trail Survey? Son of a gun, one of the options was the Donner Party Trailblazers. So good call, Robert. You had an option of getting that right there, but I think we all believe it was Lewis and Clark. Question number 2. You can't change your answer, man. Question number 2, what legal decision was handed down by the United States Supreme Court on May 17th, 1954? You have to think about what was going on in the world in 1954 in the United States of America, and then think about the Supreme Court decision that is so popular it would be in a trivia quiz. What Supreme Court decision was made on May 17th, 1954? In my brain, again, not having looked at the options available to me yet, I believe this is going to be Brown versus Board of Education. That's what I think. Because it's 1954. What do you think? Or do you need your multiple choice options? Here are your multiple choice options. Ooh, Roger goes with Miranda. That's a good one. Robert goes with Brown versus BOE. James goes with Brown versus BOE. Here are our options. Roe versus Wade. Plessy versus Ferguson. Brown versus Board of Education. Or, good job, Roger, Miranda v. Arizona. The great thing about Miranda is he was a scumbag. And he got off because he wasn't aware of his rights. And then that scumbag got murdered. And then they had to read the rights of Miranda to the murderer of Miranda. I love life. So that's our options there. Roe v. Wade, Plessy versus Ferguson, Brown versus Board of Education, or Miranda versus Arizona. My answer, I'm going with Brown versus Board of Education. On May 5th, 1940, what company introduced the very first McDonald's-style drive-in with car hops in San Bernardino, California? May 15th, 1940, just before the war starts a crack-a-lackin', what company introduced the very first McDonald's-style drive-in with car hops in San Bernardino, California? So basically, what was the first drive-in food place, McDonald's style, 1940. Here are your options. Robert's going with In-N-Out because it's California. I can understand why you would think that. James goes with McDonald's, which also makes sense if it's the very first McDonald's style. Roger goes with In-N-Out. Here are your options. Is it the king of burgers, Burger King himself? Is it McDonald's? Is it A&W? Or is it Dairy Queen? Roger's going with In-N-Out. Not one of the options. Dairy Queen, A&W, McDonald's, or Burger King. I don't like the phrasing of this question. I think it's maybe a trap. It's a trap. I'm going to go with A&W root beer's got that frosty mug taste. Only A&W's got that frosty mug taste. Because I remember as a child that A&W had girls on skates that would come to your car. I don't think they do that anymore. I don't think they do the skating part. But it was McDonald's style, but they brought the food to you. I am going with A&W. Now, In-N-Out is not an option, so those of you who prematurely guessed In-N-Out, I will give you an option to change your answer to one of the options available. Burger King, McDonald's, A&W, or Dairy Queen. Robert has changed his answer to A&W. I believe that's the correct answer. That's question number 3. Moving on to question number 4. On May 16th, wait, heck with that. I picked Jack in the Box. I think A&W was East Coast, but I think it may, I don't know. I don't know if I'm right, James. I don't know the history of A&W. I just know it was McDonald's styled. And Jack in the Box wins the internet. That's a great answer. Question number 4. On May 16th, 1929, what event was held for the first time in Hollywood? May 16th, 1929. Oh, Christy came in with Lewis and Clark. She is catching up quickly. Or, because of the way my monitor's situated, she answered much earlier. Roe versus Wade, Christy went with. All right. Thanks for playing along. Mini egg rolls, so good. Don't know what's going on there. May 16th, 1929, what event was held for the first time in Hollywood? Was it the first TV broadcast? Was it the Academy Awards? Roger pops in with Academy Awards right off the bat. James is going with the Emmys. Is it the Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony? Or was it the Cannes Film Festival? Well, if you've been watching the rest of the episode, you know I was in Cannes, and that's not in Hollywood, so we can eliminate that one. Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony, it feels like that's something that definitely belongs in Hollywood and could have occurred around this time, May 16th, 1929. But also, the Academy Awards could have occurred on May 16th, 1929. And the first TV broadcast, I don't believe occurred in Hollywood. I believe that was an East Coast thing. I believe the first TV cast was done on the East Coast and later became a West Coast thing. So I have narrowed it down to either the Academy Awards or the Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony. Christy, I appreciate your participation, but you're, just so you understand up there, bear with me 1 second. He's going Walk of Fame, no AA meetings. You're cut off because of the compact. If you have an answer and you're playing along on the TikTok, just do the bump thing, get your answer to come up about mid-screen so I can see it because it's below the other monitor that's in the way. Or join us on Facebook. You can find me and Tony Knuckles there on Facebook, and you can play along there. But it's good to have you playing along just as well. Let's see. We got Academy Awards. We got the Emmys. We got AA, the Academy Awards, the Walk of Fame, no Academy Awards. I'm going to go with, I think the first star was laid. I think the Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony for the very first time was May 16th, 1929. Christy is bumping herself up a little bit there. She has chosen Sonic, which is not one of the answers. And she's also going with the Academy Awards. So again, it's up to you to keep track of your answers. We'll all know all of our answers in just a couple of questions. Moving on to question number 5. What U.S. state became the 49th to join the Union on May 15th, 1959. What U.S. state became the 49th state to join the Union May 15th, 1959? Don't you know? Don't you know what the 49th state was? Do you know what the 50th was? Because they came to us in almost a package deal. What was the 49th state? It became the 49th state on May 15th, 1959. Here are your options. Mr. Taney pops in with Alaska right off the bat. Is it one of the options? We shall soon see. It's one of the options. Roger comes in with Alaska. The very first option you have available is Alaska. The next one is Arizona. Then there is Hawaii, or Hawaii, because there's an extra I in there. Hawaii. Or New Mexico, meth capital of the world. Alaska. We're all saying the same thing. The 49th state, Alaska. 50th state, Hawaii. 51st state, Canada. 52nd state, Greenland. We'll find a way. We'll find a way to get those stars on the flag. Question number 6. On May 13th, 1981, which world leader survived an assassination attempt in Vatican City? You know, again, not looking at your multiple choice answers. It's a world leader survived an assassination attempt in Vatican City. Who could that possibly be? Who else would they try to kill in Vatican City? Papa Giovanni Paolo II. That's who. The answer, without a doubt, in my mind. But I'm waiting for yours. Christy pops in with Hawaii, question mark. For some reason, she's suffering a delay that we normally don't have on the Talks of Tick. Mr. Taney agrees with the Pope. Robert agrees with the Pope. Pope John Paul II is my answer. Let's see what Da Pope, Roger adds. Here are your options. May 13th, 1981, what world leader survived an assassination attempt in Vatican City? Was it Ronald Reagan? Was it Pope John Paul II? Was it Margaret Thatcher or Mikhail Gorbachev? James puts down Pope with a bunch of Roman numerals. Hilarious. Those are your options. What is your answer? We're all pretty much agreeing it was the Pope. And I'm sure when Christie's answer pops up into the screen where I can see it, it will also say Pope John Paul II. Finally, our last question of the week. It was the reason for the Pope-mobile, Robert. They invented the Pope-mobile because of the assassination attempt. Question number 7. On May 18th, 1980, which U.S. volcano erupted catastrophically, becoming one of the most significant eruptions in American history? This is one of those things, either you know it or you don't know it. It's a volcano that exploded in 1980 in America. Pope John Paul II, I have to tilt the screen down. Christy pops in right away with Mount St. Helens. I got to get you to move the answers up or play along. The options are Mount Hood, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, or Mount Shasta. One of the very first times we were able to see a volcano detonate in real time. We got to see it. Yes. Kilauea, he pipes in, then immediately changes his answer to St. Helens. St. Helens, I got St. Helens. Everybody is saying Mount St. Helens because it was Mount St. Helens. My buddy Carl Rohn lived in the Mount St. Helens Valley and survived the eruption, luckily for him and his family. It was, as they say, a biggin. Now, let's go to the answers and see how we did. Question number 1. Roger pops in with St. Helens. Got it. Question number 1 was Lewis and Clark. Question number 2 was Brown versus Board of Education. Question number 3, I knew it was a trick. Question number 3 was McDonald's. So the one person who said McDonald's, good on you. Question number 4, and the second one I got wrong, was the Academy Awards. Question number 5, the third one I got wrong, was Hawaii. I got them all out of order, man. I guess it was Hawaii, then Alaska, then Canada, then Greenland. Question number 6 was Pope John Paul II, and question number 7 was Mount St. Helens. I will, if we all go decent on the answers, it's a feel-good week. All right. I feel bad about Hawaii. I don't feel so bad about the Academy Awards. I mean, it was 1929. And McDonald's was a trick question. I do enjoy going for 7 for 7. It does give me a nice warm feeling in the cockles. But I did not go 7 for 7 today. Maybe you did. I don't think any of you did. I think we all kind of failed together. We will fail together. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for playing along on the supplemental. We do this every Sunday at 10:30. As always, I remind you to just be the best person that you could be. And if you're a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Bruce sends her love. We are taping soon. Donna Party was very funny, Robert. We are taping a new episode of The Lunsby Show later this afternoon. You can find The Lunsby Show by searching the hashtag LUNSB.